Northerners are afraid that the Southwesterners are aligning with the Southeasterners on the breakup of Nigeria. I repeat, Northerners are afraid that the Southwesterners are aligning with the Southeasterners on the breakup of Nigeria. When you look at conversations from the Southwest, many people in the Southwest, especially in the diaspora, they are talking about we cannot remain in one Nigeria. And this has rattled the North. There's one region that does not want restructuring. That is the Fulani conquered northern Nigeria. One region, one tribe that does not want restructuring of the country. So the Fulani, they are rattled by this cooperation between the Southwest and the Southeast on disintegrating the country. Mind you, the Middle Belt and the Hausas, they are looking at a possible means of disconnecting from the Fulani. Eventually, Hausas are having their meetings in their various communities on how they should disassociate themselves from the Fulani, because associating with the Fulani is destruction of their own tribe. They are coming to the realization. That is why the Southern Sokoto would tell Tinubu that they should ban social media, because the awareness is getting and spreading fast. For the first time in many years, Yorubas are aligning with the positions of Southeasterners on disintegrating the country. Let's look at this reaction. Now, a Yoruba man wrote this. He said, there seems to be a consensus from Yorubas in the diaspora that we just have to disintegrate Nigeria as a country. They just need an organized movement, and they are ready to back it diplomatically and financially. That is the message. They need an organized movement, and they are ready to back it diplomatically and financially. Now, this is a message to Northern Nigeria from a Northerner. He says, his name is Dawisu on Twitter. There seems to be a growing consensus around dividing Nigeria as it is. The Southwest is gradually aligning with the position of the Southeast on this matter. You better accept this fact and start working towards it, even if you want to believe in one Nigeria. When your co-citizens don't want to remain in the country, you can't force them to. Therefore, it is better to be fully prepared and not be caught off guard. Now, Northern Nigeria is divided into three sections. We have the Middle Belt, we have the Hausas, and the Fulani. The politics Bola Ahmed Tinubu is playing is to make sure that he gives relevance to the Middle Belters, to the minorities. In fact, as we speak today, Hausa is a minority in Northern Nigeria. And the politics Tinubu is playing is at the foundation of destroying the Fulani influence and grip on Northern Nigeria first, because Northern Nigeria now is their base of launching out to dominate other countries. If you see the intensified attacks, terrorist attacks, it is a pushback, it is a retaliation from the Fulani cabals. You see the killings, you see the school kidnappings and all of you. Now the federal government has closed 47 federal unity colleges over security concerns. Because number one, like I told you, the Nigerian government cannot protect its citizens. It does not have the capacity. If it has the capacity, we will not be closing 47 federal unity colleges over security concerns. What happens to the fact that you deploy policemen? If you have the security to protect people, why not deploy policemen? You have the DSS intelligence unit, you have the NIA, you have the security structure in Nigeria. Don't we have what it takes? If you have what it takes to really even protect the people, we should not be closing schools, disrupting academics for young people, leaders of tomorrow, in quotes, because of the bandits. It shows that the bandits are determining our economy, they determine our security, they determine our agriculture, because there in the North has a lot of farmlands, and they do farming more than the South. The bandits will go to farms and start telling farmers that they need to pay some money to them before they can farm. Under a sovereign country like Nigeria, a system like Nigeria, bandits go tell farmers, say, you cannot farm until you pay tax to me. And there's a local government chairman, there's a chairman, there's the governor of the state, there's the commissioner for traditional affairs, there's a councillor, there's an established structure. This tells you a lot. So now, Southwesterners have come to understand with the Southeasterners that we don't need to stay in this country together. We need to restructure the country. I told you that it will get to a point that everybody will come together and say, to your tent, O Israel, everybody locate your father's house. Now look at what the Middle Belt told themselves. You know, everybody is writing letter to themselves. The Yorubas are saying, okay, we have people that are condescending. They are interested in a movement that will bring about restructuring in Nigeria, and they are going to support it diplomatically and financially. The Arewa said, okay, Arewa, see, the Southwest and the Southeast, they are aligning, please, let us not sit and idle. Even though you believe in one Nigeria, let us look at what we can do. Then the Middle Belt says, a growing number of voices across the country are openly discussing the possibility of Nigeria eventually breaking apart as it is currently structured. In the North, Arewa groups have already begun preparing, so they are not taken by surprise. They also believe the Southwest is slowly moving closer to the Southeast position on this issue. Now, the Middle Belt. The Middle Belt, you see, they don't call themselves Arewa. They have a different name for themselves. The Middle Belt must also begin making plans. We need to start preparing for whatever may come. Arewa extremism appears to be the final straw that could break the camel's back. We cannot continue in a country where Middle Belt villages are destroyed, where babies and pregnant women are unalived, when bulk of our people are kidnapped, forcefully converted to another religions, where our people live in IDPs and then gaslighted when we speak out. Middle Belt is saying that we join this move for let us disintegrate the country, let us restructure the country. Everybody is coming to the consensus, because I said it at one time. You see, Nigeria, the last lifespan for Nigeria is not that long. Tinubu may be Nigeria's last president. You know, in most of my videos, I repeat it and repeat it. I know the reason why I'm repeating it, because I'm seeing a trend. See, the fight between Tinubu and him trying to subdue Fulani in Nigeria will lead to the eventual disintegration of the country. Because number one, Tinubu no go agree, Fulani no go ever agree. With all the intensified attacks, you see, Tinubu is still focused politically. Tinubu's own is, let me win the election. I'll do all I can to win the election. If Tinubu wins the election, you will now see the true color. You see, he seems to not be so much concerned about what is going on. It's because of the next election. And that's how a politician thinks. You people that are supporting politicians, things can happen to you, but until next election, let me have full grip of political power. I know it's my second term, then I can do and undo. I pity for the Fulani. Because this dispensation, this season, no matter what they do, this season, they will be dealt with. These Fulani bandits terrorizing Nigeria, making sure that Nigeria does not attain development. They will be dealt with. Just bookmark this. Bookmark it. They will be dealt with. You see, ISWAP leader was sentenced 20 years imprisonment. Nnamdi Kanu was sentenced for life and is taken to Sokoto prison. Tinubu will have to move to other people sponsoring insecurity in the country, and which he will do. He is using Nnamdi Kanu as a sacrificial lamb. You know, first, when I saw the information whereby ISWAP leader sentenced 20 years, and the next day was going to be Nnamdi Kanu's judgment, and I said, wow, these people, you know, if you want to understand how a politician, think like a politician, these people have set the pace for Nnamdi Kanu to be sentenced. I thought, so what happened to Nnamdi Kanu, just watch from now on. If Tinubu win the election, the Fulani go hear them. Names will be mentioned because there's a lot of pressure on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do the needful. Names will be mentioned. But the point here is that I don't know if he can be able to, at the end of the day, succeed in prosecuting these people that will be mentioned that are sponsoring terrorism. I doubt. That is where the fight will start. That is where, you see, Gani Adams said something. The Honor Kankanfo, OPC leader, said something. That the people behind insecurity, they are powerful forces. That Tinubu does not want to step on toes. If he steps on toes, these guys will take the attack strictly. They will hit him where he will not like. The people behind this banditry, behind this terrorism, behind this stealing of resources, they're not just people in Nigeria. They have international networks. And those people will do everything they can. Somebody said something. This is how the bandits operate. The bandits act as a buffer between Nigerians and the people stealing our resources. For instance, in a community where they find out there's resources, they will bring in banditry, attacks, killings over killings. People will desert the community. Then somehow the Oyibos will enter, they have access to that place, taking the gold, taking the rare earth minerals, taking the resources. But you will not have access to that place as a neutral person. Before you get to that place, you will see bandits. So bandits are acting as a security to those places that our resources are being stolen in northern Nigeria. And who are those that have been accused? Oshomele said something about retired generals. Even the same Gani Adams said, reportedly, retired generals, that they are behind this. And Tinubu does not want to step on toes. That's the politics that is going on. But I assure you, in the dispensation from now to 2031, something will shift. I don't know what it is. It is not clear to me. But something is going to shift politically in Nigeria. The Fulani will not have that popularity, that influence they have again after if they allow Tinubu win. The thing is just, if you allow Tinubu win, you now see the intention of the Jagaban. Now he will be playing politics. So the middle is saying that we cannot remain in the same country with this northern Arewa. We cannot remain. We are also thinking on how we are going to have our own system. It's structuring. You see, now the best thing for Nigeria, the best thing is restructuring. Because it takes a long time for you to divide the country. It takes a very long time. It is gradual restructuring. First restructuring is to make sure that the Fulani is not having that influence. Because it is their influence that is causing all this problem. They just want to lord themselves over you in whichever way. If you are working in any agency, e.g. police, CBN, EFCC, NAFDAC, wherever you are, and there's a Fulani that is there, the way he behaves to you like a superior, even though you are his oga. They see themselves superior to every other person in Nigeria. And that mentality needs to be dealt with. I tell you, they will sit down in their houses and they'll be laughing. Look at these people. They don't know that we are the ones that own Nigeria. That's what they will come outside and deceive you and say this, and they know what they are doing and they have been consistent in what they are doing. So first, you need to make sure that you soften the grip of Fulani on Nigeria and its institutions. These first 4 years, you see, Southerners and Middle-Belters are getting a lot of commitment in the system, in CBN, in NNPCO, in everywhere. You see Southerners, even the military structure, restructuring in the Nigerian military. Southerners are heading divisions, very, very key positions. Maybe Northerners will be like subject or PA to them. After this, just run that package in every parastatal in government, every parastatal. After you do that, you now talk about regional development. Regional development. First, before that, let's go to the house. Like APC has 2/3 of the house, and they can push for many things. Somebody said that the Northerners, they are much more than Southerners. If you remove the middle belt, the Northerners don't have the numbers anymore. I repeat, if you remove the middle belt and some vested interests, in the north, in the core north, even in the core north, in Adamawa, even in Sokoto, we have Christians. We have communities that have representatives in the house that will not agree with the position. What the Fulani does in those communities is that they use all this insecurity, all these killings, kidnappings, terrorism to silence them. That is their way of silencing minorities. Like where they are having the numbers, if they have minorities beside them, they use terrorism to silence them. In the real sense, if the Middle Belt would align with the southern part of this country, it's going to go a long way of handling what the Fulani has done to Nigeria. We can, through the house, constitutional amendment is key. You see, what you need to do is that you change it small, at a time. You don't just go all of a sudden and change it. No, it needs to follow a certain process. State police, I know that the governors will not want state police. Local government autonomy, I know the governors will not want local government autonomy. But there's one thing, development commissions. Empower development commissions, let regions start developing, and let there be competition. That competition will make people want to speak up. You see, Southwest is developing. What happened to Northeast or Northwest or North Central? What happened? You see, that sense of regionalism will come into the people. Then the next set of leaders that will have See, the seed we are planting, the narrative we are pushing, the next set of political leaders we have, they are looking at a restructured country. Maybe our old cargoes, when they go, the new people that will come up will look at a restructured country. Yes, that is the plan. It is a long-term plan. So after that regional system of, then you now start removing all this extremism in our constitution. It had to be removed. It is our vote against their vote. Let's start pushing the narrative now. If you're a Southwesterner, or in the Southeast or in the South, because we have Muslims in the South, in the Southeast and Southwest. If you are in the southern part of this country and you support Sharia, you don't like yourself. If you support Sharia, you are brainwashed. So first, in the South as a whole, Sharia needs to be banned. In the Middle Belt, Sharia needs to be banned. Because Sharia is the outsource for terrorism and extremism. That's where they sell extremist ideas. That's what the Fulani use to put people in bondage. So Sharia must be eliminated out of our constitution. Very important. If that is the only thing Tinubu can do, he has gone a long way. After re-strategizing, restructuring the military, the police, let there be 50-50. It is not only northern. You see, out of 20 police, you see 15 northern. No. It should not be like that. Southern should be like 8 or 10. 10 out of 20, 10. Or even more than that, so that we can strike a balance. One of the reasons why it is difficult to win the war of insecurity in Nigeria is because we have Boko Haram. Outside Boko Haram, those ones that are attacking terrorists, we have the ones in government, in the military, everywhere. That is why it is difficult. If there's an intelligence that is being shared now, we have people that can divulge this intelligence to externals, to the Boko Haram. We have Boko Haram apologists in the government. If you have politicians that are Boko Haram apologists, not to talk of, if you have traditional rulers, in quote, respective traditional rulers that are Boko Haram apologists, what of if you have a president, even a president, that is Islamic jihadist fundamentalist? If you have a governor, if you have a minister that are apologists to extremism, what do you think? What do you think you can do to stop insecurity? If you don't know what a president, a minister, a governor, these are apologies to extremism. I know extremism is another form of terrorism. Because when you go to the extreme, it's terror. You unleash terror on people. So if we have all this, if you bring everything together, you understand that we are moving towards a gradual dissolution of the country. So when you ban Sharia, you restructure the constitution and how we vote on matters, because the current structure is favoring the North, because the numbers the North have, however, may affect Southerners deciding on something that will benefit Nigeria and them. That's why the Northerners will override with their numbers. They'll tell you that they have numbers. Go to the house, we have numbers. But I believe that after the full disintegration of Northern Nigeria, first, Northern Nigeria is disintegrated, the Middle Belt and Co., after they separate themselves, then we can talk of how that constitution, we need to revamp it. We revamp it left, right, center. From there, we revamp the constitution, we push for regionalism, resource control regionalism. Yes, it is possible. These things are possible. Or we want to go the other way. The other way is that, but I don't think politicians will subscribe to us outrightly saying that we want to change the constitution and put a referendum. If you do that, you are giving these people information, and they will, with everything they have, they will go against it. Those ones you think that are supporting Tinubu government, when you reach where you want to bring referendum in the constitution, according to Olani Pekun, we should restructure the constitution. If you reach that point, you will see them come out with their true colors. They are looking at you because you have not even hit them where it will pain them. When you hit them in that referendum, because the Fulani, northern Nigeria conquered by the Fulani, does not want restructuring, however you want to call it. Buhari campaigned on the mantra of we are going to restructure Nigeria. We restructure Nigeria. He finished, he enter. He can't tell you, say restructuring get different meaning. It's just enter. He just enter. He call your bluff. These are the realities. So as it is, I know these conversations will still continue. And the Fulani will be so foolish, because if they understood the psychology of the South, they will stop these killings, they'll stop this agenda. But they will be so foolish to continue their agenda until the agenda leads to another agenda. I tell you, you'll be so foolish until the agenda reach another agenda. You'll be shocked that Southwestern will be saying, let us restructure. Southeast will be saying, let us restructure. South will be saying, Middle Belt will say, let's restructure. And the lawmakers will have to carry that on their head as a burden, and they restructure Nigeria. And if this happens, then it is another pathway to more restructuring. So don't be gaslighted by anybody. Don't be gaslighted by anybody that Nigeria cannot be restructured or cannot be disintegrated. My brother, it can. Let me give you one example. I've given this example before. Let me give it again. For instance, maybe Trump or the United States carry our matter, write letter to UN, and they vote for the disintegration of the country. Who will stop it? Is it the Fulani? The Fulani self, they even make him out that Trump cannot do anything to them, blah, blah, blah. We are not saying Trump is coming to attack anybody. Trump is coming to get rid of terrorists. If you are the terrorist, then why put yourself in that box of Trump? He will not attack us. So if the United Nations put out a resolution that Nigeria cannot remain in that state, then it is possible. But until then, we can make efforts. Our laws must be amended to fit the aspiration of the people. To meet the needs of the people, our laws must be amended. May God help Nigeria.